Welcome back to the channel. I'm out fishing at Hampton Springs again. This is Long Island, I believe, this lake, which is the main carp lake. Got a bit of a corner swim. So set up now. Got both rods in the water. Well, one just on a float locally and one a bit further out with a PVA bag on. Got a couple spare ones made up. Trying a new rod and reel today, which I purchased. Sonic ones, something a bit heavier, so I can fish the specimen pool at my local pool. So not a sponsor, but really good price. Got a good deal for a rod and a reel. So still quite early. Just coming up to 8:30, so one or two fish rising, nothing yet. 25 to 10 now. I had two little roach. I've not took any pictures of them, they barely fit in the palm of my hand. I'm just fishing the margin for small stuff at the minute until the big fish wake up and start going for bait. I think you can see that, the float's down there. Tiny bit of prawn on the hook, and the roach seem to like it. I'll bring you back in a bit. That still picture that you just inserted prior to this clip, that's number 3. They're getting a little bit bigger, so at least they're not blanking. Could do a bigger fish, but there you go. Float's gone again. That was number 4, another little roach. The wind's starting to pick up a bit. It's quite warm at the minute, but see the trees blowing. The forecast says there's a pretty heavy storm coming in around midday, then it should be okay again in the afternoon. So I was going to just chair and rod pod it, but I feel I was going to need the umbrella, so I need my seat box for that. Float's just gone again. I think that was number 5 before then. Might actually be a perch, not a roach. It had like a spiny dorsal fin, so I'm a bit out of touch with some of the little fish, but somebody's having a nibble on that at the minute. So just hope the weather stays pretty much like this. Be a good day then. It's now about 11 o'clock. I've switched the float rod to just another bottom rod. I've had about 15 of them little roaches or perch, whatever they are. So it's enough playing around. We'll should have a bit of a scent trail in the water now. So hopefully something a bit bigger will come along shortly. There's no ducks or swans, but there's a little moor hen there. Keeps popping his head out and having a few bits of corn or hemp that's floating on the surface. There's some activity, not really jumping or on the surface today, they are on the bottom. There's quite a few sort of signs of fish moseying around underneath. It's just whether or not you got the right bait on the day that attracts them. So I'm trying 2 totally different flavours. One just in front of that island and one just off the margin down here, so see what happens. So I'll bring you back in a bit. Not a lot happening. A few alarms going off, but not many being pulled out. Seen a couple come out. There's a guy fishing down in that bottom corner over there. Apparently he's been here a month. Don't know, I mean it's 15 quid day ticket on this lake and 15 for the night, so it's 30 quid for every 24 hours, and he's fishing here for a month. I'll round up a little bit, but I think he's had just shy of 200 fish landed over the month. That's some serious dedication to your sport. Must have either a very understanding boss or be out of work, I don't know. But I've got one on the bottom just in front of that lily pad at the minute, and one just near the island on the bottom. One of them I'm fishing PVA bags and the other one I'm fishing PVA mesh. Again, two different flavours, so we shall see what happens. Just put a different hook bait on the one on the right that's by the lily pad. Kind of cut two barrel wafters in half, so kind of two different colours but still in a barrel shape. So see if that makes any difference. It is quite warm, but it's very low pressure. It's only about 1,002 millibars, so some people would say that's why the carp aren't too active. The typically feed around 112 apparently, so it might be a bit too low for them. There's also a wind warning in place for this area, and we're due a really heavy shower around midday, about another half an hour. And then last time I looked at the Met Office forecast anyway, it said it was the aerator's just kicked in. I don't know if you can see it through the trees, but yeah, I think there's going to be a heavy storm for around midday for maybe, I don't know, half an hour or so. In fact, it feels like it's spitting with rain now. And then it was looking dry again in the afternoon. The rain finally arrived. Excuse me. So, I don't know if you can see that on the camera. It's raining pretty hard at the minute. Fine rain, but pretty hard, and there's a bit of wind with it as well. Still no takes on the bottom bait, no nudges. But I think in the perch and the roach department I had about 15 or so. Lost count really, so I know I can say I haven't blanked by when I go home, so just leave these bottom baits out and hope for a bigger carp come along. Last time I was here I managed a new PB for me, which was a 17.5 pound carp, so I was really hoping I might better that. There's supposedly carp to about 25 in this lake, but nothing yet. But I say that could be down to the pressure. I watched an interesting video on YouTube, might have been yesterday or Friday, and I reckon there was a bit of a survey done, and they reckon even moon phases can play a part in how carp feed and stuff like that. So I'd not come across that one before, but a lot of people catalogued when they caught the fish and the dates, and when they looked at it, it was certain sort of moon phases. I don't know if it was full moons or waning moons or what, but even that can have an effect. Soon be lunchtime anyway, so I'll bring you back in a bit. Finally just landed a proper carp. It's not a very big one, like a nice little common, but first proper fish. It's about 20 past 1. It's actually bright and sunny at the minute, fairly warm, still very breezy, as you might be able to see that tree blowing around on that island. No more bites or runs or anything yet. Had some lunch, brought a couple of sandwiches with me, so might nip back to the car in a bit and make a brew. Got a flask full of hot water there. I didn't bring a stove or anything this time. There's actually a lot of I think it's just tiny fish, silvers and the little perch and roach, taking free offerings I've been throwing in the margins. Hemp and corn and breadcrumbs. I think sort of centre of the picture now, there's 2 or 3 people all fishing. They've had quite a few out. They're casting very long, almost over to the aerator. There's obviously some of it, they're probably some of the favoured pegs here. The good concentration of fish out there. But it's funny, as the wind changes direction and blows stuff around, the fish tend to follow it if they're feeding on the surface or anything like that. Plenty of little rings where stuff's rising and just taking the particles. I'm quite pleased christened this new rod anyway with that common. Not a massive fish, but had no trouble whatsoever bringing them in with that. So yeah, if anyone's interested, it's a Sonic Vader X RS, 3¼ pound test at 12 foot, and a matching 10,000 FRS reel. I like the bait runner type reels, so there's no chance your rod's getting, as long as you engage the bait runner, no chance your rod's really getting pulled into the water. I might next month or the month after get a second one, so I've got like a pair. So I don't intend to go like chasing monsters all the time, but every now and again it's nice to, or it would be nice to sit on a specimen pool where there's bigger fish. I'm surprised how few people there are out fishing today. I'd have thought the place would have been packed. But I mean, we'd pre-booked these pegs, but could have fished in nearly any of the pegs. So 2:30 in the afternoon now. Still quite windy, spitting with rain again. Still quite warm. No more fish, no more knocks, no bites. Being pretty dead for everybody, to be honest. A lot of like activity just subsurface, but it's all the tiny little fish getting all the particles floating around. I've not even seen any carp basking, to be honest, today. Usually when the sun comes out you might see a few on the surface basking away. It's absolutely really quiet today. I've only just noticed actually that the aerator's stopped. Must have run for about 2 hours or something like that. Don't know if you can hear that engine noise in the background. I think it's a pump or an aerator, but running on a diesel or a petrol engine. It's quite annoying. It's been going for quite a while. Just disturbs the peace. Sun's back out, really warm. Still a few grey clouds in the sky. No more fish yet, not even any knocks or liners. But there is the odd fish just sort of rising, or the little ones rising, taking any floating particles. What time is it now? 3:10. So probably here for another 2 or 3 hours. Let's hope there's some more fish before I go. Still quite windy. See, there's a little fish rise there. You can see the circles or the rings. I've got one right in front of that lily pad and one quite close to the island, about midpoint, so let's hope something's perusing by. That pump, whatever it is, did stop for a while, but it started again. It's getting to be really quite annoying, and to be honest, the vibrations off that, you know, travel through the ground and stuff, and it will put the fish off. Like people who come and hammer pegs in and rod rests and stuff like that, all of that impacting noise frightens the fish away. You should always just try and push them in, or get screw type ones that you can wind in. Everything should be quiet. No more fish. The weather's holding for the minute. What time is it now? Coming up on 4:15. Still quite warm, still quite breezy. I've tried to sort of match the hatch approach with me feed baits and hook baits, so I'm trying like polar opposites now, and just obviously I'd made a bit of a mix or two to feed in PVA bags and that, but I've been going through my bait tub, if you like, and just finding some complete contrasting baits, exact opposites, to give them a try now, see if that works. A lot of the bleeping going on is because it's the wind blowing the lines around. Not sure if that was a fish or one of the moorhens then. It looks almost black and white on the phone screen. It is dark grey overhead, so I dare say there's more rain coming, but there is sort of bright blue sky in the distance, so to see how it plays out. I say I'm probably still going to be here for another couple of hours. I think it's 7 PM or something you've got to be gone by, so probably start wrapping up about 6. It's now 5 PM. No more fish yet, although 2 of the guys I'm fishing with are both, well, one hooked up but lost it, and the other one's just landed a fish, so whether they're coming back on the feed now or not, I'm not sure. I'll give these a couple more minutes and I'll reel them in and rebait them. Another chap who I'm fishing with today is packing up now. He's heading home. Still quite warm, still quite breezy, but staying dry for the minute. Can't check the weather. The very poor phone reception around here. In fact, there's next to no network reception. Just noticed on the bank there, just level with the end of my net. Any of you watch me sort of other channel where I'm in the doing garden or allotment, that I believe is red clover. Red clover, although I think it has some medicinal properties. I'd have to look it up. I know you can grow it as, well, it's irrelevant for fishing like, but what they call a green manure. But one of the other places I fished, I made a comment that there was a lot of mint around the edge, and it turns out there's a variety of sort of wild mint called water mint, which is found around ponds and riverbanks. So I'm not sure if it's edible or not. I'll have to look that up as well, but just thought I'd mention that while it was there, red clover. So anyway, I'm going to reel these rods in and refresh the baits and get them back out. Probably stop till, like I said before, stop till 6 or another hour. Well, it's nearly 6 o'clock. Sadly no more fish, but like I've said before, any day you don't blank is a good day when you're fishing. So I'm going to wind these in. It's funny, this fish rising quite a bit now, but I'm going to wind these in and start packing my gear away. So I've got just over an hour's drive, bit over an hour to get home. I'll take it easy. Several sets of speed cameras along the way, so thanks for watching, and I'll catch you again next time. Cheers now.